Every single day we leave a trail. It's a trail of digital breadcrumbs scattered across the internet. A photo posted from a family vacation, a comment on a news article, a professional profile updated with a new job title, registering a website for a new business leaves a public record. Most of us don't think twice about this information. It feels harmless, it feels disconnected, but when someone knows how to gather these scattered pieces, they can assemble a surprisingly detailed picture. A picture of you. A picture of your family. A picture of your workplace. This practice of gathering and analyzing public information has a name: Open Source Intelligence, or OSINT. The name sounds technical, spy movie style. But the concept is simple. That's the idea. Let's be very clear about what OSINT is and what it is not. Open source intelligence is not hacking. It does not involve breaking into computer systems or stealing private data. It is the opposite. It operates entirely within the realm of public, legally accessible information. It is the disciplined collection and analysis of data that a person, an organization, a government has made available to the public, whether they did so intentionally or not. This is a critical distinction. OSINT practitioners are researchers, not digital burglars. They are working with information that is, by its very nature, open. Imagine you are trying to learn about a new company you might want to work for. You would probably start by visiting their official website. You would read their About Us page and look at their leadership team. Then, you might search for recent news articles about them. You might even look up their key executives on a professional networking site like LinkedIn. Without realizing it, you are conducting a basic OSINT investigation. You are gathering public information from various sources to build a better understanding. This is OSINT in its most common everyday form. The sources for this kind of intelligence are all around us, and the list is constantly expanding. It includes the billions of pages on the surface web indexed by search engines like Google. It encompasses the vast and dynamic world of social media, public posts on Facebook, X, photos on Instagram. It draws from government databases, property records, business filings to court documents, news archives, academic papers, online forums, public webcams, satellite imagery all contribute to this enormous pool of information. It is a mosaic of data, waiting to be pieced together. The real skill in OSINT is not just finding the information, but making sense of it. It requires patience, critical thinking, the ability to see connections that others might miss. An analyst might cross-reference a name found in a data breach with a social media profile to see if the user has posted other clues. They might use a public photo's background to pinpoint a precise geographic location. This is the intelligence part of the equation, turning raw, public data into a refined understanding that can inform a decision, support a story, or highlight a potential risk. That's basically it. While it's easy to focus on the risks, it's important to remember that OSINT is a powerful force for good. It is used every day by professionals to make the world safer, to make the world more transparent, to make the world better informed. In the hands of ethical practitioners, public information becomes a tool for accountability. Public information becomes a tool for protection. Journalists, human rights organizations rely on OSINT to investigate stories where access is limited or dangerous. Verify events by analyzing user-generated videos. Track military equipment using satellite imagery. Expose wrongdoing by connecting public corporate records. Corporate security, national security. OSINT is the first line of defense. Security teams use it to understand the threat landscape, monitor public forums, monitor social media, for chatter about emerging cyber threats, for discussions of new hacking techniques, patch vulnerabilities proactively before exploitation. Before a major event, map the surrounding area, identify potential risks, understand public sentiment, provides crucial situational awareness to protect people and assets. Think about the aftermath of a natural disaster, earthquake, hurricane. Emergency response teams face chaotic, confusing scenes. OSINT becomes a lifeline. Monitor social media for pleas for help. Use photos and posts to pinpoint stranded individuals. Analyze satellite images before and after the event. Identify the most damaged areas. Prioritize deployment of resources. Quick gathering and analysis of public info can make all the difference. Guide help to where it is needed most. Beyond dramatic examples, OSINT has practical business uses. Companies use competitive intelligence, monitor competitors' public announcements, monitor product launches, monitor hiring trends, helps them stay competitive. HR uses it for background checks, verify work history, verify credentials via public records and professional profiles. Market researchers gauge public opinion on new products. These are legitimate, valuable uses of public information. So, yeah, it's not all scary. There's a lot of good. So, where exactly does all this information originate? The sources are more common than you might think. The most obvious source is the internet itself, the World Wide Web, websites, blogs, forums. These sites contain names, contact information, technical details, personal opinions. A company blog post might accidentally reveal details about a future product. A forum comment can expose a user's location or employer. Social media platforms are another massive reservoir of OSINT. Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn. People post jobs, family members, vacations, political views, daily routines. A photo of a new company ID badge can reveal security features. A complaint about a work project can expose internal team dynamics. Photo metadata can include exact GPS coordinates. Public records form the bedrock of many OSINT investigations. Local government records, state government records, federal government records, property deeds, business registration documents, court records, campaign finance databases, vehicle registration data, professional license databases. These are often the most reliable, official government documents. Finally, much OSINT comes from the deep web, not the dark web. The deep web, resources standard search engines don't index, academic databases, scientific reports, conference proceedings, specialized repositories, domain registration records, WOIS data. These technical sources help map an organization's digital footprint. Yeah, that's where it all comes from. The same techniques that help journalists and researchers can be turned into a weapon in the hands of an attacker. For a cybercriminal or a hostile actor, OSINT is the first and most critical phase of any attack. Reconnaissance. Before they try to break into a network, they do their homework. They use public information to build a detailed profile of their target, whether it's an individual or a large corporation. They look for names of employees, their job titles, their email addresses, and the structure of the organization. They are searching for the path of least resistance. This public information is then used to prepare for a social engineering attack. Social engineering is the art of manipulation, tricking someone into giving up access or information. An attacker who knows an employee's name, their manager's name, and the name of a project they are working on can craft a highly convincing fake email. For example, they might impersonate the manager and send an urgent request for a file related to that project. Because the email contains specific, correct details gleaned from OSINT, the employee is much more likely to trust it and click on a malicious link or attachment. Attackers also use OSINT to map out a company's technical infrastructure. By analyzing public domain records, job postings for IT staff, and employees' social media profiles, they can figure out what kind of software, hardware, and cloud services a company uses. For example, a job posting for a Cisco network engineer tells them the company uses Cisco networking gear. An employee's post about a conference for Amazon Web Services suggests the company uses AWS. This information allows the attacker to search for known vulnerabilities in that specific technology, making their attack more efficient and targeted. This brings us to the most personalized form of attack: spear phishing. Unlike regular phishing emails that are sent to thousands of people, spear phishing messages are carefully crafted for a single high-value target. Using details from OSINT like a recent vacation, a favorite hobby, or a new professional connection, an attacker can create an email that seems deeply personal and trustworthy. It might look like it's from a friend or a trusted colleague. The goal is always the same: to trick that specific person into clicking a link, downloading a file, or revealing their password. The more public information available, the easier it is to make the bait irresistible, you know. The good news is that protecting yourself doesn't require being a security expert. It starts with a simple change in mindset. Think before you share. Before you post, take a moment to consider what information it reveals. Photo, comment, status update. Does that picture of your new driver's license show your address, date of birth? Does that post about being on vacation for 2 weeks tell criminals your home is empty? By being more mindful of your digital footprint, you can significantly reduce the amount of personal data available to outsiders. It's about conscious sharing, not ceasing to share altogether. Next, become the master of your privacy settings. Check that platforms' default settings aren't too open. Go through settings on each account: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, other accounts. Limit who can see your posts, friends, connections, avoid public. Turn off location tracking in apps that don't need it. Restrict who can see your friends' list. It can map your social network. Make checking these settings a regular habit. Your passwords are the keys to your digital kingdom. They need to be strong. Don't reuse the same password across multiple sites. If one site is breached, attackers can access your other accounts. Use a unique, complex password for every account. Use a reputable password manager to create and store strong, random passwords. Then you only need to remember one master password. Finally, enable multi-factor authentication. MFA. It's when a website sends a code to your phone after you enter your password. That second factor proves it's really you trying to log in. Even if an attacker steals your password via OSINT or a breach, they still need your phone. Turn on MFA on every important account: email, banking, social media. For a business or any organization, defending against OSINT-based threats requires a team effort. It begins with establishing clear policies and training your staff. Employees are often the primary target of these attacks, so they need to be your first line of defense. Conduct regular security awareness training. Social engineering. Phishing. Teach them to be skeptical of urgent requests. Be skeptical of unusual requests, even if they appear to come from a senior executive. Show real-world examples of personal information being used to craft a fake email. A well-trained workforce is a vigilant one. Take control of your public digital footprint. Attack surface reduction. Actively search for and remove unnecessary information. Audit your company's website. Audit social media profiles. Remove detailed organizational charts. Remove non-essential employee information. Decommission old websites and domains. These may contain outdated info or vulnerabilities. Minimize the data an attacker can gather without touching your network. Monitor your organization's exposure continuously. Look for mentions of your company. Look for mentions of your domains. Look for mentions of key employees. Monitor data breach repositories. Monitor paste sites. Use services that automate this monitoring. Watch for company email addresses appearing. Watch for credentials appearing. Early detection is key. If a list of employee emails is exposed, force password resets. Warn staff to be on high alert for phishing attempts. Your security depends on partners and suppliers. Supply chain risk. An attacker may target a smaller, less secure vendor. Vet the security practices of key vendors. Ask them how they protect shared data. Include security requirements in contracts. An attacker looks for the weakest link. Don't let it be a trusted partner. It is absolutely essential to understand the legal and ethical boundaries of OSINT. The practice itself, gathering and analyzing publicly available information, is legal. It is no different from a librarian compiling research from newspapers, a genealogist searching public birth records. The legality hinges on the nature of the information and the intent of the person gathering it. The moment an investigation crosses into accessing non-public information, it ceases to be OSINT and can become a criminal act. This is a bright line that must never be crossed. Attempting to guess a password, exploiting a software vulnerability to gain access, tricking someone into sharing private data through deception. These actions are hacking. These actions are social engineering. These actions are fraud. Responsible OSINT practitioners operate under a strict code of conduct. They do not try to circumvent security controls. They do not access private accounts. They work exclusively with data already in the public domain. Their goal is to discover what is visible, not to break in and see what is hidden. How collected public information is used is subject to many laws and regulations. Using OSINT to harass, using OSINT to stalk, using OSINT to defame, using OSINT to intimidate, using it to perpetrate fraud, using it to perpetrate theft. Laws around privacy govern usage. Laws around data protection govern usage. Consumer rights laws govern usage. For example, GDPR in Europe, CCPA in California. Operate with integrity and transparency in professional investigations. Always have a legitimate and lawful purpose for your research. Document your sources and methods. Be mindful of privacy concerns. Handle personal information with care, even if found publicly. The power of OSINT comes with significant responsibility. Using it ethically keeps you on the right side of the law. Using it ethically preserves trust and integrity in security and research professions as a whole. We live in a world of shared information. Open source intelligence is a permanent feature of this landscape. It is neither inherently good nor inherently bad, it is simply a tool. That tool can be used to hold the powerful accountable. It can find those in need of help. It can also be used by adversaries. They can plan and execute attacks with alarming precision. We cannot turn back the clock to a time before public data was so readily available. We must learn to live in this new reality with our eyes wide open. The key is to find a balance between the benefits of openness and the need for security. This balance is not achieved through fear, nor is it achieved by disconnecting from the digital world entirely. It is achieved through awareness and simple, consistent actions. We must accept that the clues we leave online can be found, but we also have the power to decide which clues we leave. Choose to be more deliberate about what you share. Take the time to secure your accounts. For organizations, foster a culture of security where every employee understands their role in protecting information and reputation. The defenses are not complex. They are accessible to everyone. Use strong, unique passwords managed by a password manager. Enable multi-factor authentication on your critical accounts. Review your social media privacy settings. Think for a second before you post. These are not massive undertakings. They are small, practical habits. Adopted collectively, they create a much harder target. They are digital hygiene for the 21st century. Your safety, and the safety of your organization, is in your hands. Don't wait for a crisis. Start today. Take one small step. Turn on multi-factor authentication for your primary email account. Ask a coworker to look at your public professional profile and tell you what they see. These simple, proactive measures are the most powerful defense you have. They empower you to navigate our open world safely and confidently, allowing you to reap the benefits of connection without falling victim to the risks. Open source means publicly available information. It is out in the open for anyone to see, not hidden behind a password, not stolen from a private server, legal to access. Intelligence is what you do with that information, connecting the dots to create something meaningful and actionable. Like a detective at a scene open to the whole world, clues are spread across websites, public records, social media platforms. News reports can give a physical location. A public LinkedIn profile can reveal technology used. A satellite map can show building layout. Separately, these facts mean little. Together, they tell a story. This is the core of OSINT, the art and science of finding the story in shared data. The power of this technique is growing every day. We live more publicly than any generation before us. We share our thoughts, our locations, our connections, our daily routines. A vast, searchable archive of human activity. A resource for good, journalists, rescuers, and a tool for malicious intent. Understanding OSINT and protection is no longer optional. It is fundamental digital safety.